And good morning. Hey, I would like to welcome you to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls. I'm your host. And I have Philip Simonetta is going to be on the show today. I'll welcome him here in a second. My apologies for us being about 20 minutes late here. We had some technical difficulties. We worked through them. And I have Philip Simonetta on the show. Welcome to the show, Phil.
Ken, thank you for having me. I appreciate being here with you. I'm looking forward to being a contribution to everybody.
Yeah, man. Well, I've known you now for, gosh, how long? A few years at least.
Yeah.
We
met at the original 10X conference.
We did, but I think we knew each other before then, right?
Before online, but physically.
Yeah, right. And so, I've watched you. You're killing it down there, and you're in Miami, right?
Yeah, I have an office in Miami and also Florida.
Okay, so you are dominating the real estate market down there, and I know a little bit of your backstory, but not a lot. So let's start with where you were. Let's start with telling everybody where you were born and raised.
Yeah, sure. I actually, I was born in Easton, Pennsylvania. It's about 45 minutes north of Philadelphia, Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton area.
Okay.
If anybody's familiar with Lafayette College, Lehigh University, Moravian College, in that area. Growing up it was a small town, great people, everybody knew each other. I attribute a lot of my people skills to growing up around great people, and I never realized how amazing it was growing up there until I left.
Yeah.
And I realized that not everybody grows up that way and has those connections and how to, people really care about each other kind of thing.
Yeah, right. So you said West Philadelphia?
No, it's a little north of Philly.
Oh,
okay. It's a town called Easton.
Okay. So, I'm sorry, maybe it's the Fresh Prince song stuck in my head.
Yeah. Born and raised, right?
Yeah, right. So
I actually moved to Philly after high school, and I was in Philly ever since then.
Okay. So after high school, did you go to college?
I did. I went to Temple University in Philadelphia.
Oh wow. Okay. What's your degree?
I didn't finish though. I left the semester early. It was kind of interesting. It was around 99.
Yeah.
And I had a job offer from a bank to come in as an investment advisor before I graduated.
Wow.
And what's funny is, my major was criminal justice and minor in accounting. So I wasn't even thinking business. I was thinking more service, helping people, going into a different field.
Wow.
And the monetary reward was so much less. But when everything worked out, I ended up working as an investment provider, Series 7 licensed, and got all the training through the lending institution. However, as soon as we were licensed, we were working about 3 months, and they were actually purchased by another company and laid us all off. So here I am, Series 7 license like this.
Oh no! Wow.
It was insane. I just had gotten married at the time, just had a kid, just bought a house, making great money, had a good thing going.
Wow.
And that was the last time I ever worked for anybody, because I said I never would again.
Yeah. That was, and you were what, 22?
21, 22, yeah, 21, 22 years old.
Wow.
And, at that point there, I opened restaurants. I got into the lending industry, had a brokerage for a while. And that's what I did, restaurants, nightclubs. I grew up in that industry, so I had, 2-3 businesses going on.
Wow.
Started wholesale real estate. Actually, my first wholesale real estate deal was when I was 19 years old. It was even before my first flip. I was 19. I bought a house and sold it. But I knew right there where the money was and how things were progressing, and that was it. Yeah.
Wow. So let me ask you, I always ask this. It's I feel like there's always some sort of an event or a person, or maybe a culmination of people and events, but things that happen to us or we see as children that kind of dictate or not dictate, they push us into who we become as an adult. So, you know, when I say that, like, what is, like, one of the first things that pops into your head? Like, what do you feel like as a child pushed you into what you ended up doing as an adult?
Yeah, I got to tell you, you know, I learned how to do things from watching people who didn't do things correctly.
Right.
You know, like my whole life, people I was around were doing things that weren't correct, weren't not always ethical, not always up and up. And I always had like an inner desire to be ethical, to be honest, to be straightforward, have integrity. And
Right.
I always wanted to be better. Like, you know, even to this day, it's the same thing. I saw how people would operate, and I hope I'm answering the question for you.
Yeah.
It was more like reversed. It was more like I saw what I shouldn't be, and I became the opposite.
Nice.
And a lot of my life was like that. You know, a lot of my friends turned out different. I mean, a lot of them got in trouble. A lot of them, I'm in touch with some of them, but we were on different paths. I always wanted to increase and be better, and that was my goal. You know, to wake up the next day better off than I was the day before.
So you never got in any trouble?
Yeah, I mean, I got into trouble, but you know, statutes of limitations never run out. But yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, you know, I mean, I'll give you a little backstory on that. I mean, my parents got divorced when I was 12.
Okay.
My dad was gone, and I have 3 younger brothers. I'm the oldest. You know,
Okay.
we're all about 3 years apart. So instantly that day, it was a summer day when I was 12, and my dad left. Instantly that day, my life changed like that, like on a dime. I realized I now had to provide and help, because that's all I knew.
Right.
As a 12-year-old boy, trying to step up and make sure my mom's okay and my brothers are okay. And I started working at that point. I started, you know, in the summer times working on farms and fruit stands. And we used to, you know, I would buy crates of watermelons for $1 a piece and sell them for $5 a piece. Sell 200-300 watermelons a day, you know, down in Philly. And I mean, do the math, man. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, fruit stands and different things when I was a kid.
Right.
So I learned how to negotiate and work with, I mean, starting with the Amish people, like making deals with them and making things work. And, you know, I always try to make light of things. I always try to be present in the moment and not go too far in the past or future. I just stay where I'm at.
Right.
And make the best of it. And I used to even joke with the Amish people, you know, and I build relationships that way, all through connecting. And I used to tell them, you know, you guys don't believe in electric, right? No plumbing, nothing like that.
Yeah.
And they're, you know, and they would tell me, and I'm like, yeah, but they're running a cash register.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so you don't, but you believe in cash registers. Right?
Yeah. Right.
So,
Right.
Just the hypocrisy of things always stuck out to me, and I always wanted to be on the up and up and be better. You know, I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So what's funny is I have a client. These 2 brothers, they grew up Amish, right here in Ohio, and I'm building out a couple of websites for them, and they are a couple of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. Like they're just incredible. They're incredible. So you grew up in I mean, that's Eastern Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's called Lehigh Valley. The Lehigh Valley.
Yeah, yeah. So and you know what's crazy is I've never been to Philly.
Oh man, really? Oh, Philly,
never.
Philly's a great town, man.
Yeah.
Being from there, you know, didn't appreciate the history when I was a kid. Liberty Bell, Constitution, Betsy Ross's, you know, sewed the flag. Valley still has the huts that they stayed in during the winter, during the war.
Wow.
I mean, all that history there is amazing. It's just being from there, it's like, you know, I live like 10 blocks away from it. Didn't really matter.
Yeah, you take it for granted, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Great town, though. Great food town, good things.
Yeah, Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, I had my sandwich shop up there for a long time.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, we were voted best of Philly for our cheesesteaks and sandwiches in 2000.
And I'm starving right now, and that just sounds really, really good. That's probably my favorite sandwich is the Philly cheesesteak. Yeah, and I've never had an authentic one apparently. So
Next time you're down here, let me know. I'll pick up the stuff and I'll make it.
Nice,
I'll make
dude. Nice. I love Miami though. So,
Yeah.
so
But that's my background, man. I did a lot of everything. You know, I started
Yeah.
out like as a kid, being put in a position where I had to make money to help my mother.
yeah,
Learned what a dollar was worth. You know, I learned from a very young age. While my friends were all, drinking, having a good time, parties, I was working a job and then doing that.
yeah,
So responsibility from the age 12 on was huge
yeah.
on what I did.
And that, I mean, I had, well, I won't even go into all that, but I was forced, so to speak, as a kid, to earn money to figure it out, and I can remember, for many, many years I resented that,
Yep.
I mean, really resented it.
Me too.
Right. And then, you kind of grow up, you get older, you gain some wisdom, and you realize that it was actually a gift. It was a blessing.
Yeah, unbelievable. What really frustrated me in the beginning was I had a full baseball scholarship to play all in college.
Wow.
And when I was in 10th grade. I was really good at baseball when I was a kid. And I actually I lost it because I couldn't play baseball and work.
Wow.
So I had to, I didn't have a scholarship. I didn't continue that route. But I always think, what if? But I'm telling you something, man. Like, I don't regret anything because, honestly, looking back, we're sitting here now.
Right.
Anything that happened in the order that it happened, and this is, I'll go into this a little more, but everything that happened exactly how it happened leads me here to this conversation with you.
Right.
So if I didn't do everything exactly how I did, I wouldn't be here at this moment.
That's right.
So metaphysics, I study a lot of metaphysics, energy, things like that.
Yeah.
And I put that into my business, into my relationships. My training company. I mean, at this point now, I have the retail real estate group with the Simonetta Group of Charles Spreitenberg. I have the wholesale company, South Florida Cash Home Buyers, where I'm flipping and buying and doing contracts as well.
Right.
I also have Top Agents Academy. Now that is an apprenticeship program where I bring realtors in and I teach them the principles of real estate. I broke it down to 18 steps. And it's basically an apprenticeship where I teach them how to connect, position, inspire, inspire people,
Right.
inspire action in them, deliver results, and then, leverage that success over and over through a funnel. And, scripts and leads and how to really connect with people, because connecting with people is the key. If people like you, they deal with you. If they don't,
That's right. That's
and
right.
people like to pay you more for the same product than the guy in the store if they like you.
Right.
And that's where it comes down. Connection is the biggest element when you're in any relationship and dealing with people.
Amen. I totally agree with that. So so here you are in Philadelphia. You are 21, 22 years old. You lose a great job. You're married. You have a kid, and you go home that day to your wife at the time, and you say, "Hey, I got fired."
Yeah, I mean, it was like that. I mean, they gave us an option to stay, but it was like a 40% pay cut.
Oh.
And we could make the same money if we worked 15 times harder. And I was like, you know what, man? And, thinking, hey, look, I have a Series 7. I'm a commodity. I'm pretty, there's jobs out there.
Yeah.
So I checked, A.G. Edwards and big companies.
Right.
And then they were even less.
Oh, God.
I'm like, oh, man, what did I do?
Not good.
So that was the first week of, and then at that point there is when I partnered up and I opened up the finance company with a partner, and I never looked back after that. And then that was great, man. And then I opened a sandwich shop. And
now wait, what kind of like you say a finance company? What kind?
Lending.
Like for who?
We were brokers, and we represented 30, 40 different lenders. So mortgage, private loans. We were individual brokers.
I got you.
So we represented 30, 40 banks, prime, subprime,
So you just started this company out of the blue? Like you're like, I'm unemployed, I'm just going to start?
Yeah, I had all the licenses, I had everything in place. It was just a matter of semantics and partnering up with the right people.
Right.
Listen, no matter what it is, you could put me in a city with $50 in my pocket, give me 2 months, watch where I am.
Right.
It's about being able to make it. And
Yep.
it's just connecting with the right people, and then when people want to give you a hand and help you.
Yep.
Because when people see a value in you, it's
Yep.
a value to them. And if you could, and the perfect example I use, this is part of the training I do. So, perfect example, it's all about the value. So, if if there was a cruise, a 7-day cruise, and it cost $399 with everything included, would you go?
Well, yeah.
7-day cruise, $399, everything's included.
I would wonder what the catch is.
Well, exactly, but if that was legitimate and it was
Yeah.
really there.
Well, of course, yeah.
Now, if it was $899, would you go?
Probably.
Right, but if it was like $8,000, would you go?
I would wonder what the catch is. Why is it so
That's what
much?
I'm trying to show you. So
Yeah.
you see, when the value's there, the $399 all included for a week, go.
Yeah, right.
It's $899. It's still a good deal, but
Yeah,
okay, I'll go.
yeah,
But when it's a couple $1,000, $8,000,
yeah.
you say, nah. So see, it's all about the value. It's not the trip. The trip is the trip. It's great.
Right.
It's the value that
Exactly.
you're getting.
Yep.
So when you bring value to people here,
Yeah.
if the value's here and the risk is here, or the element or whatever you're doing here, it's
Yeah.
automatic. If it's
Right.
here, but if it's like this, forget it, man.
Right.
And that's anything, car business, house business, whatever you're selling. If you bring the value, forget about selling. Bring the value.
Yep.
And people like you and you bring the value, it's a done deal.
That's right.
No matter what you're going to sell.
Totally agree with you, man. 1,000%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So well, let's talk about. So you were in the lending business. You were in the finance lending business, and still in Philly area, Philadelphia.
Yep.
And were you in Philly or outside of Philly?
At that point, I traveled. I was in Jersey, Philly,
Okay.
Miami, New York. I kind of, I was in 37 states at that time. I could
Yeah.
do different things and things. Yeah.
Okay, so so you were, in your own business, and you started by yourself, or you had partners?
Partners.
Okay.
Always.
So you started this with some partners. You and the reason I'm kind of digging into this because I started my current business I've had for 16 years, and I started it on a $20 loan, literally at $20. Buddy of mine's like, dude, I was staying at his house, and he's like, you need to get out, like go get your like grow up, get your own place, and get out. And so, well, I take that back. It's only been 11 years ago that occurred when I formed the LLC. But I remember that day thinking, what? And I had been fired from my last job because I called the sales manager out for smoking dope in a company vehicle. And I'm like, you're a freaking loser, dude. I can't believe you're even the manager. And of course I got fired for that. but I was like, I remember being terrified. Like, oh God, my buddy is tired of me hanging out and moping around at his house. And like, what am I going to do? Right. And so I went out, put $10 gas in my car, had bought a pack of smokes. I smoked back then. They were only $3, and I had $7 left. And I was like, I'm going to the McDonald's dollar menu for lunch. And so, I mean, that's that. But you do what you have to do. And I went out and I started knocking on doors and talking to people and developing relationships. And that day, later in the day, after working all day knocking on doors, I finally got a deal, and it was only $600 to help this guy change some things on his website, but it could have been $6 million to me at that point, right? So you start where you are, and that's what I'm kind of digging into with you is like, dude, Here you are, a kid. I mean, you're 22 years old.
Started negative, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So like what was that like though? Like you're like, okay, you got a wife, you got a kid, you got no money. I would imagine, unless you had a little bit. But
no. By the time I was married, I was good. I had money aside. I was flipping properties and stuff.
oh, okay.
When I was 12 years old, I was in that position.
Right.
And my dad was out the door.
Right.
You know,
right.
my dad was gone.
Yeah.
That was the point. And then I had my 3 brothers and my mom. Now, I come from a strong family. My father's Italian, my mom's Lebanese, so I have a really strong culture on both sides, and family help and things like that. But
Yeah.
there was never anything greater. Like I was told as a kid, stay home, take care of your mom, help your brothers. Don't even go to college. That's what I was told, the old school way.
Right. Right.
This is the hand you're dealt. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, I did what I did. I went to college and I took care of my mother and my brothers. Like I didn't.
Yeah.
It was just natural to me. Like no, I don't do one thing.
Yeah.
And then most of my motivation was, I was always the black sheep because I never listened.
Right.
And it's like, I mean, I have an uncle who's super wealthy. I mean, he runs a big college and he's super wealthy. Doesn't talk to me because I bought a car without his approval.
You did what? I didn't.
I bought a car when I was 16 without his approval.
Oh wow!
So I stopped talking to me because I didn't listen to him.
Still to this day?
To this day, he's a multi-millionaire. Runs colleges. Like the guy's a brilliant man, but he had if they only knew, right? So things like that. And I was always set in my ways, and the biggest thing was always proving to people what I could do. And then got to a point where it didn't matter anymore because I didn't care what people thought.
Right.
And going from the extreme of trying to make everybody okay to the other side where I just don't care. I do what I do, and I hold it to my integrity and to my whole thing: honesty, integrity, service, and competence.
Wow.
That's the 4 things that I promise. And when I'm dealing with anybody, if it's real estate, if it's consulting, so I consult. I've opened cigar bars, restaurants, nightclubs. I've helped people open a church. I have a consulting arm of my business too, where I handle all the permitting and all the building out, and obviously the real estate side.
Right.
And
right.
I have a couple of cigar bars on the beach here, and one in Brickell, and so I take what I do is I just basically took all my knowledge from all the adversity I've been through, and now I apply it to where I can help people get to where they want to go, and that's all I do. I don't sell. I'm this. I'm that. I sell. Look, here's where you are. Here's where you want to go. Let me help you get there.
Right.
And that's what it is when it comes to real estate, when it comes to a business, when it comes to a realtor trying to get into the business. And the hardest challenge is letting the world know, which you know that. And once the people start to understand the value, it's that value again, like that use analogy.
Yeah.
Once they understand the value, it's like quick. But it's like you guys say, Grant Cardone says all the time too, overnight success takes 20 years, 30 years.
It does.
It takes that long because you can't impact enough people to become that overnight success.
Well, that and as you're going along impacting people, you make a lot of dumb mistakes. A lot. I look back at some of the mistakes I made, and I'm like, God, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have made that. But I wouldn't know now what I know had I not made those mistakes. So, today's the 1-year anniversary of me leaving what I was doing, helping somebody out in Las Vegas, and I look back at it and I'm like, man, I can't believe how much better my life is today. And a year ago, I was freaking terrified, terrified. I had my family, not even all of my family, 2,300 miles from here, man. and so, that's the thing, dude. And that's what this show is all about. It's called Breakthrough Walls. Yes, that's a play on my last name, but it's about helping people get unstuck, man, to have a breakthrough, to freaking go for it. Right? And there's guys like you and Phil, you make it look like you make it look easy, okay? And I know for a fact it's not. I know it's not. There's no way. And you've made the mistakes, right? You've made them.
Absolutely.
And so
it's the grind, buddy. It's the grind, man. Finish what you're saying.
No, that's it. Go. Yeah, go.
It's a grind. I make it look easy because that's just who I am. Like, I make things work. I look for solutions. I don't look for a problem. When somebody has a problem, see, the money's in the solution, and there's no problem that hasn't been fixed, because the sun goes up and it comes down every day.
Yep.
So it's going to go down tonight. It's going to come up tomorrow, no matter what.
Right.
So has there ever been a solution in your life, no matter how bad it looked, that you didn't fix, that didn't work out?
Right.
So it always works out. So when you come from a place of knowing that everything's going to work out, just because that's the way the universe works, when you're in flow, on the right path, and you're helping the right people, doing the right thing, everything flows for you. But the one thing that always, even to this day, I'm successful. I got a lot of things going on, but there's days I don't want to do anything.
Right.
There's days I don't want to pick up the phone.
Right.
I don't like calling people out of the blue. I don't like cold calling people. But you know what? I do it because that's how I make money.
Right.
And I'll give you an example. I have my agents cold calling. I'm telling them cold calling. I don't want to do it. Every day I get to the phone, I tell them I don't want to pick up the phone. Yeah. But I do pick up the phone and I go get 3 deals.
Right.
Because that's the way I eat. That's the way I'm fed. That's the way I make money.
Right.
And then when I pick up the phone and start talking to people, I'm like, why didn't I want to do this? Because once you start talking to people and they start connecting with you, man, you're like, why? I should want to do this every day. And then the next day, you still have that. Nobody wants to do that because of the conditioning we've been through. We're told, don't bother people, stay out of trouble, be quiet, don't make a problem, don't talk to strangers, don't do any of that stuff.
Right.
We're conditioned that through our cultures. And, I have a video on YouTube. It's about the 5-year-old kid. I'll share that with you if we have a minute. But
yeah, do it.
The synopsis of it. But the one thing what I was saying here was the main thing for me to lead to the success was to get comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes any sense. And that's what I tell people.
Sure does.
Learn uncomfortable. Learn to look forward to being uncomfortable.
Right.
Because that's the time growth happens. You're in resistance. Unless you're out there, you're just resisting. You got to get uncomfortable. You got to go do something you don't want to do, and then you're like, man, that was easy. Why did I do that?
Right. Right.
And it gets hard. I was doing it. I was speaking at 25 to 100 people, and I was talking about. They were talking about reaching your goals and having like fulfillment and not being fulfilled and things. And I stood up and I was actually speaking. And one thing that led me to my success is I've always set high goals, but I've always reached them very quickly. And I would always think, if I got this deal, if I got that car, if I got this property, I always thought I'd be fulfilled. I always thought I'd be happy at that point.
Right.
Every time I got to the goal, it was empty. Right? So I had empty stuff. Then I get to the next one. Like, for example, flipped the house, got married, had a kid, thinking all that would make me happy, correct? And then you're emptier and you're emptier and you're emptier. Then I bought properties, then I did this, then I had this business. And the only thing, it took me up to probably about 5 years ago when I really realized that the true thing that led to what I was looking for, which was leading to emptiness, was truly being a contribution and helping other people succeed at what they were doing. The feeling and the satisfaction of helping a person get where they want to go and accomplish something was better than getting $1 million check. Now, don't get me wrong, $1 million check is needed. It's nice. But the satisfaction, you follow what I'm saying? Like, the satisfaction of their in getting the different things, value to them. And then you start building relationships and loyalties with people. And that's how things start to expand. It comes from that. It comes from really contributing to anybody and anyone you can.
And I think that and I was I'm sorry, I think I'm having an audio issue with this microphone.
I get some feedback.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you good.
But
I hear me a second behind.
You do?
Maybe if so when I'm talking.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't hear. Now we're good.
Okay.
It's a second there I was hearing my echo.
Sorry. So, I had John Hamlin on yesterday, and John has a private jet, a Rolls Royce. I think he's got a Lambo or two, or he's really really done very very well in life. And one of the biggest things about John is he's a philanthropist, man. He gives and gives and gives and raised $2.5 million for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I mean, like, the guy is, and so that's what I've tried to do, and I think that you'll agree, and I'm sure this is part of your story, is you find other people to surround yourself with, as, you know, like this book right here, written by Chris Saraceno,
Sure.
The Theory of Five. It's about surrounding yourself with the right people, right? And that's what dictates success. It really does.
Yeah. The problem is finding the 5 people.
Right.
You know, it's not easy, and it should be. It shouldn't be like, you know, if you're in the right flow and doing the right things, you should attract the right people. The problem is, in a society today with the ethics and morality, you think you're attracting the right people, and the smokescreen they're giving you got to see through.
Yep.
And that's hard. You got to look at the actions. Like, you know, for me, you know, Miami's tough. Fort Lauderdale, South Florida's tough. I mean, it's like, you know, it's tough here. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the area, and you know, it seems like everybody kind of flows here after they have issues in life.
Yeah.
Like somebody told me once, I'm like, I don't get. I have friends up in Orlando, and I'm all over the state. I do things on the West Coast, Naples. Yeah. And the guy was telling me, he goes, I'm like, I don't get South Florida, man. Like, people like say this and they do this. You know, they're not. He's like, don't you know? He's like, all the douchebags end up in Florida. The whole country flushes the toilet, and they all end up in Miami, man. And I'm like, man, this is you know, it's like crazy.
But there's, you know, there's
find the right people.
Right.
It's just being in the element, going to the right networking, being with the right successful people is what you need.
Right.
You know, and I think maybe, you know, the theory of 5. I think, you know, you have different areas in life.
Right.
You know, so maybe you should have 5 in every area.
Right. And that's exactly what he talks about too. But you know, because I'm not going to go. You know, if I have the ability to hang out with the Dalai Lama. You know, I'm not going to hang out with the Dalai Lama to teach me how to build up muscle, right? I'm going to hang out with the Dalai Lama to teach me how to be more spiritually connected and whatnot. But you know, so I think that what's that?
Chris wrote that book. His name's Chris. You said
Chris Saraceno.
He's from my hometown, about 20 minutes from me. He used to go to my bar and restaurant. Like, I had a conversation with him.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We kind of, I don't remember it, but I mean, so many people came and went.
Yeah, right.
We kind of had some stuff in common, which is pretty cool, man.
I'll tell you, he's from, you know, Allentown, but he's an incredible guy. I mean, just a super guy. And you know, I've had, and so you know, I think about, like you said about Miami, and you know, I know some phenomenal people that live in Miami, you being one of them, Grant Cardone and his entire staff and crew there. They're just incredible people, right? But I get it, man. I get that. I understand. You know, the handful of times I've been in Miami, I was like, man, this city is so alive and beautiful, and it's just it's happening, you know.
It's international. It's different people every 2 weeks. There's so much flow. There's so much wealth.
Yeah.
It's a playground for the 1%. I mean,
now, if you've never been to Miami, and I'm sure you'll confirm this, but South Beach, whoa! I mean, it can be a freak show. It's in South Beach.
Yeah, South Beach gets nuts.
It gets a little crazy.
All the clubs. I mean, you have Live and the clubs and all the scene. I mean, Miami. I mean, it's a 24-hour cycle of people in clubs, and they're always open. They don't close. One opens at 3 in the morning. One opens at 4. So there's that element. Miami can get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Come to Miami, you never go home.
Right.
They get caught up in this whole lifestyle. And, you know, everybody moves here and they see TV shows and they think you could be a waiter at a restaurant and drive a Ferrari. Yeah. See, it doesn't work like that, you know. And it's a lifestyle, and people really get caught up in that. I've seen many people do it. You know, for me, I've been disciplined though my whole life. I mean, if you follow me or see my videos and what I do, very structured, very disciplined. I've seen it all.
Yeah.
I'm from Philly. I was in South Philly, and growing up with what I grew up around, and so I saw all the worst of society before I was 15.
Right.
So I seen that all, and I knew that's not what I wanted.
Right.
And that's what led me on the path that I'm on. Like I said before, I got to where I am because I saw what I didn't want, and I saw the strengths in it, and I used that for what I did want. It's the same principles. It's just a little bit different tweak of how you.
Well, I think again, I've been, I'm a recovered alcoholic. I have 16 years sober in August, and I think I mean, when I was living that lifestyle you're talking about, man, I was freaking insane. Like, I was nuts.
Sure.
And I think about like all of the things that I mean, I was homeless. There were times when I didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. I didn't have anything, and I was stuck. Now, I knew I did figure out eventually, thank God, that all I had to do was start with removing the alcohol, and my life would just automatically get better, right? But there's still been many times, even sober, a year ago, literally a year ago, I was in Las Vegas with my family, stuck, and like, how do I get out of here? How do I get this done? How do I put the money together? I'm curious if you've ever been there where you're like, as an adult, where you're like, oh my God, everything just hit the fan. It didn't go the way I thought it was going to go, and now what?
I got to tell you, as an adult, I never allowed it, because I was so impacted. And I'm going to tell you why. When my father left, my father was gone.
Yeah.
I realized that I couldn't trust him. Think about this. You're a 12-year-old kid, the person you look to.
Yeah.
Your baseball coach, your idol, right?
Yeah.
Your idol. Right?
Yeah.
You're 12 years old, right? Your father's your idol. You want to be like him.
Right.
When my father walked away, now he didn't walk away, and it's like I never saw. I mean, it was just what it was. The confidence and the trust was gone, like that moment.
Yeah.
And I realized that I never wanted my brothers to feel that. And I felt bad for my mom. My mom's raising 4 kids. My mom raised 4 boys. And she's crazy. I know why now, because she raised 4 boys. Me and my brothers would be tormented her like crazy. But but the thing was, when I felt that, I never wanted to feel that again. And I never, like 10 grand is my broke. Like, if I ever was down to 10 grand, I'd be like you were with 2 pennies.
Yeah.
Like, that was always my number when I was a kid.
Wow.
Growing up. And that was it. And I always hustled. And if I needed to make money, get out of my way. Either get with me, get behind me, or be the other person, but don't get in the way, because nothing's going to stop me. Like, I'm going to die or I'm going to get there.
I love it, dude.
And that's how I look at it today.
Yeah.
I needed to get a deal. I need something, I go get it. I just walk in and get it. I take it. And that's just, I know I can, and I know I have that ability. So,
but what about the person that doesn't have that? Well, I believe we all have it. But what about the person that doesn't know they have that they're terrified, that they're stuck and they don't know what to do? What do you think the number one thing is that's holding people back?
You know what it is? It's fear, man. And it's just like I saw part of John's interview yesterday with you. How fear is 10 feet wide, 10 feet tall, but paper thin.
Yep.
And the first time you go through that fear and you realize it's nothing. See, that fear for me was when I was 12 years old and my dad was gone, and I couldn't trust nobody.
Right.
Like I didn't have anybody that I could relate to or work with, or like even my own uncles and my own. I've always had that, even to this day.
Right.
And this is something that's detrimental to me, because going into relationships and going into different things, I always have that in the back of my head. If you can't trust your father and your idol or who you're dealing with, who can you trust, right? So I'm always questioning, but I tell you, that questioning, not to the people, but in my mind, and when I do business with people and I see things, I tell you what, it's like I have binoculars. I see shit coming from miles away. I mean, I'm always looking at things and seeing what the intention is.
Right.
Why do they want me? What do they like? Why? Because a relationship is mutual. Somebody calls me and want to take me to lunch. There's a reason. It's not because they want to take me to lunch. There's something that they're wanting, and I get that. So I try to get to them. You get what I'm saying?
If I come to Miami, I'll take you to lunch, and I don't want anything except some food.
We have a relationship, but I'm talking.
I'm just playing.
I get a call. Hey, I'd like to meet with you.
Yeah.
And it's always, and it's not a bad thing. There's an attention, but I like to get to it.
Yeah.
And connect right away before I'm not one for dragging things out. I'm very precise. I meet with a client, 15 minutes, boom, we're done. Contracts 1, 2, 3. Very systematic. Everything I've built. In all different angles,
Yeah, yeah. So fear seems to be the common answer to that question, and I agree.
Yeah, and that's what. But it's just, see, fear for me is a little different than most. Like because of that situation. See, when I fear something, I go harder at it.
Right.
You know. Like if I fear something, I'm going harder at it.
Right.
That most people will just like reserve from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everything. And that's like, like I hate making phone calls. Boom, I'm gonna go make phone calls and get appointments.
Right.
People are. I work with people that are shaking when they're picking up the phone.
I know.
They're shaking when they go to call somebody, and I'm like, dude, like, it's a human being. And let me share a story real quick with you. I know we're getting close, but I want to share a story about the 5-year-old kid. And this is something I have videos on, and this is the first thing I teach them when it comes to connecting. You see, you were a 5-year-old kid, I was a 5-year-old kid, someone across the ocean was a 5-year-old kid all at one point.
Yeah.
When we're 5-year-old kids, we just want to be happy, right? We just want to go to school, go hang out with our friends, go to kindergarten, hug our friends, go play recess, learn. It didn't matter the sex, the race, it didn't matter what you were.
Right.
You didn't care, boy, girl, this, that, the other thing. You were just happy and you're with your friends.
Yep.
So we go through life like that, and we get to a point in our life where there's a critical point of something affecting us. And I'll give you a perfect example of mine. I was probably like 7 or 8 years old, and I used to go home after school, and I would pull like the pots and pans out and like play them like drums, like music.
Yeah.
I used to play saxophone when I was a kid. I always loved music. I just kind of got away from it. And so one day I came home and I'm doing it. And like, I love this. Like, nothing matters in the world. And like, my mom came over and like smacked my hand so hard. I was like, don't do that. So for the first time in my life, I realized I can't truly be happy and do what I want because it might make my mom mad. So you see, conditions start getting put in.
Yeah.
Standards, ideals. You're told, be quiet. Don't bother people. You're told, don't talk to strangers. So that's our culture.
Right.
Now, your culture may be a little different than mine. You were taught different things. People overseas were taught different things. So you start compromising who you really are to be happy, to make other people happy and be accepted, right? So you get in the now, from that day forward, all we do the rest of our life is try to get back to being happy as the 5-year-old kid, where you shouldn't do this, you should do this, you can't do this, you can do this, don't bother people. Again, so we go through our whole lives trying to appease a culture that's been put into us that has no meaning. See, because in our country here, we go to the beach, people are half naked running around, you go to nightclubs, restaurants. You go over to Saudi Arabia, it's totally different. Women are covered, no one drives, blah, blah. And the thing is, we think they're right, we think they're not right, and they think we're wrong.
Right.
But really right or wrong, it's just because their culture and their grandparents and their parents all told them the same thing. So my dad's not a liar, my grandfather's not a liar. Like, if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. You don't eat this type of food. You don't do, but
yeah,
that type of food, they weren't going to disintegrate, or if they cover their body or don't cover their, like, I'm just giving examples of extremes. That's extremes.
Yeah.
So what happens when, if you took a 5-year-old kid from one of those other countries and a 5-year-old kid from here and put them together, they'd love each other. They'd be friends. It didn't matter. But now you take a 25-year-old kid from here and a 25-year-old kid from there, and they dislike each other because of what has been inbred in them.
Yeah.
And it's cultured into them, and their standards and ideals. And that upbringing is what causes that fear. So when I don't want to pick up the phone, I was told, don't bother nobody, don't talk to strangers, don't talk to people unless you're talking to that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The bottom line though is when I pick up that phone and I talk to that client and I'm that value, that $3.99 value for that 1-week cruise, and then I'm working with a client now. The guy is an Olympic gold winner his wife designs $30-40 million homes, and it all came from a call from one of my agents, one of my partners that called him on a listing that he had that he was selling, which it was already sold. He had it under contract privately. The deal fell apart, and then somebody he knew was going to buy the house from him. Just from that call, it turned into a friendship. It turned into he wants to buy something now, and now he has a friend from California selling his winery coming here.
Wow.
So it turned into buying a condo. It turned into his friend coming from California. We're going to lunch in 2 weeks for a multi-million-dollar deal. All for a house that we didn't even touch.
You know, I think that
see that that's the connecting, man. And screw the money.
Yeah.
Screw this now. And I know Grant Cardone says no. But I'm telling you something. When you connect with people, there is no sale. It's closed already.
That's the thing, and I think Grant teaches that, but that's one of the things that he teaches, and the reason I love the dude and what he teaches so much is he teaches exactly what you just said. He teaches you like dude, just because you were programmed at 4 years old or 5 years old to be afraid of all this stuff out here doesn't mean that it's real. It's not real.
Funny story about Grant. When I was 19 years old is when I met him. He was probably, I'm 41 now. He was about 41. This is before he, expanded.
Yeah.
He came to a dealership. I think I might have told you. He came to a dealership outside of Philly. I was working. My friend's parents owned one of the biggest Ford dealerships.
Okay.
And while I was getting my series licensing, we weren't getting paid. So I went and sold used cars, and I was working with the used car manager, going to the auction, pricing the cars. To this day, I still have a dealer license. I still buy and sell cars for fun.
Wow.
If I got a deal or if I want to get something. But anyway, what happened was there was a training that they did. I was there for 3 months. And in that 3-month period, Grant, it must have been one of the places Grant Cole called and came in to train us. And his computer system, the software program he had, they were one of the first ones to use it.
The e-pencil?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. I remember because I was doing the wholesale side. So anyway, remember I told you I learned from the wrong people? I was weird. I thought it was different.
Yeah.
Like I belonged, right? The first person I met that helped me understand who I was and I did belong was him, because I was like, I finally met somebody that's on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
That was a kid. And ever since that, I followed him from when I was a kid. I was always programmed with that, naturally. I don't know, but I sharpened it by, following and seeing things. And as he grew, I kind of implemented those things.
Yeah.
Cardinal knew all that stuff. I have all that stuff, and we use that.
Yeah.
But it's like he was the first confirmation that I was not crazy. I was not different.
Yeah.
And what I was doing was right, And from that, I met other people and different things through. And that's just a funny thing that goes way back before he was, the superstar that he is now.
Well, I love the analogy and the story of being a 5-year-old, because dude, you're 1,000% right. It's like at 5 years old, you literally do not have fear. You don't care what anybody else thinks of you. You don't, and then it's all learned behavior. It's like
hands like I was freaking I don't know, some famous drummer, man. I was and I just didn't care. And until that day, Mom hit me, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and that's all that's learned, and it can be unlearned, and I've experienced that. I think that's one of the things is it's like Grant tells the story about when him and his oldest daughter Sabrina were flying back from South America or something, and she's like 2 or 3 years old and says, "Papa, I want cookies," and he's like, "I don't have your cookies." And I don't have any cookies. I'm not the Cookie Monster. What do you know? And she's like, "I want cookies." And he goes, "Well, there's 230 people on this plane. You better start cold calling right now. Somebody's probably got your cookies."
When he says the lady in front of him turned around, he was like, "Shut up."
Yeah. So and he's like, and I love the way he says, "How many of you tell your kids don't talk to strangers?" Right? When he does. And everybody's raises their hand. He's like, "Why? Strangers have everything that you want, everything."
So the key to that whole 5-year-old story, the whole basis of that, is we all try our whole lives getting back to that.
Yes.
That's all we want is to go back to that. It's so simple. The key to that is when you're dealing with somebody, let them be the 5-year-old kid.
Amen.
That's
man.
how you build a relationship. Like, let them have access that they can be that with you,
Yeah.
and then it's over, dude. Like,
Right.
It's like you made that relationship, and as long as you can be the 5-year-old kid with them, see, that's how you go one by one.
And it's not, it's not a manipulation. It's a genuine, genuine connection.
Yeah, integrity.
It's
like,
right.
I'm telling you, the value. I hold my value. I know for a fact I'm the best at what I do in the world because no one works harder than me. No one has systems the way I do. I mean, they're comparable in different ways, but I know if I just got a kid. There's a house. I'll give you the address. 22 Southeast 7th Ave, Deerfield Beach. I just got the sellers $20,000 more than the appraisal because I was the listing agent, and I knew the buyer wanted it. And then we had a back contract on it.
Wow.
But the appraisal and $20,000 too low because the appraiser didn't give value for a certain amount of land, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Long story. It was crazy. 1 mile from the beach is nuts. How do you not give value for this land?
Wow.
But anyways, $20,000 more. Now, do you know what that did for that kid? Like, this kid's starting up some kind of sign company. He's hanging signs on the skyscrapers in Miami.
Wow.
The relationship I built with him, the sister's an attorney, all because of, going through this, charging a little bit less on the commission to help him out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like putting things in place to really genuinely help people. I'm changing the industry. I actually have a program I put on. I can talk to you more about it. I'm lowering the commission, but I'm doing volumes of deals.
Yeah.
And really just letting people keep more money in their pocket. And then I'm double-siding the deal, so I'm actually making more. So it's a win for them, a win for me.
That's
it's
awesome.
It's like a whole system that I put in place with the new agents and stuff.
That's awesome, man.
But the key is the 5-year-old kid, buddy. If you can first of all, get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then be the 5-year-old kid and allow others to be that with you.
So how do you do that? Give me a real life example of what you mean. Like explain. Like you meet with a dude that's maybe a judge in his career, and he's a staunch, stiff, and he's like, all right, get on with it. Well,
so let's use an example. Let's say this guy's trying to sell his house. I'll do a role play with you.
Yeah.
Let's say this guy's trying to sell his house, and I call him up out of the blue. And say you're this guy, and I want you to be that guy.
Yeah.
And I'll be calling you. So
sure.
His name's Ken. So, hi, may I speak to Ken, please?
Speaking.
Hi, Ken. My name's Phil Simonetta. We haven't met yet. Listen, the reason for my call is really important. I just need a moment of your time. Can I speak to you now, or would later be better?
Go ahead. You got me now. What's up?
Great. Wonderful. The reason I'm calling you is really important, as I said. Okay, I just want to let you know who I am and what I do, and then from there we can speak a little more. I just want to give you. I know you're probably getting a lot of calls right now, and you're probably frustrated about this real estate you're trying to sell, and I get it. I apologize. I know you're getting a lot of them. Let me tell you who I am. I have a real estate wholesale company. I have a retail company. I do over 150 properties a year. The reason I'm calling you is, first, I have a program I put together where I can save you a significant percentage on commission when you sell. And I can show you some of the programs that we do. We sell properties all over. I wholesale around the country, and we have a retail group here out in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. We also have an apprenticeship program where we teach realtors all over the country how to do real estate. So I just want to give you an idea. I know you're getting a lot of calls.
Yeah.
And the people are trying to pitch you and tell you when you're going to hire the right person and all this. The reason I'm calling is to tell you who I am, what my value is, and if it works for you, I want to talk to you about working with you and getting the house sold and getting you the money.
Yeah.
But so tell me, if you sold this place, where were you going to move?
I'm not sure yet. We're just I'm not sure yet.
Sold.
Yeah.
Sure. Tell me a little bit about your experience. I know you had it on the market, it came off. Where did you meet the realtor that you were working with? I understand you're frustrated, you don't know me, but I really want to bring some value to you and show you, some of the experiences. I can create a report for the property, send it over to you.
Right.
Just anything I can do to help you, I want to assist you, and then you make a decision if I'm somebody you want to work with.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting like 5 calls a day about this. It's kind of getting old.
Yeah, you know how you stop that?
How?
you list it with me, and they won't call you anymore.
Boom! Nice.
Now you see what I'm doing? I'm not even
Yeah.
talking about selling. I'm talking about connecting.
Yeah.
You see what
Right.
I'm doing?
Yeah.
I'm connecting. So where are you from? Are you originally from here in Florida, or
Ohio.
like what?
Ohio.
Ohio. Okay, I'm originally from Philly. Actually, I used to have sandwich shops up there. And
Ah, nice.
I was in the finance business a long time. And
Yeah.
I'd love to send you. Is this your cell phone I called you on?
Yes, it is.
Great. I'd love to send you some text with some links. It shows you all of my history, all my background, everything I do. You know, I just want you to know who I am. And at that point, like I said, we can have another conversation
Yeah.
and go from
Send it
see
on
the
over.
You see what I'm doing? The first call I'm
Yeah.
doing to connect.
Yeah.
I'm giving him an opportunity to open up.
Yep.
Free. He doesn't know me. He can say what he wants.
Right.
He can tell me whatever. You know. If
Well,
he hangs up,
and I think that, you know, again, because I'm really good at connecting with people as well, but there's people that hang up on me. There's
right.
There's,
So
right.
So this now there's always going to be somebody's a douchebag. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Florida,
Right.
so what it is when they do hang up on me, I understand they're frustrated. I don't want to talk to people either.
Right.
I call them back. I call them back,
Yeah.
and I say, listen, I go, you hang up on me. Now, if they're not a douchebag, they're going to talk to you, or they're going to hang up. Like, yeah, I can't believe you called me back.
Yeah.
But listen, if you wanted to learn how to play basketball, and Michael Jordan called you, would you talk to him?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the Michael Jordan of real estate. I want you to Google my name.
Love it, dude.
Google my name. They see Inman contributor.
Yeah.
They see reality show. They see wholesale company.
Yeah.
They see training company. They see videos. I have 300 videos on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, all the videos. You see the video. Like everything
Yeah.
I do, professional, high quality.
Yeah.
So now, once I make that connection, they see, wow, I really got somebody here that I can really count on.
Right.
I can trust this guy. He does all this business. I can trust this guy. He has this experience.
Yeah.
See, you're connecting, and I haven't asked them to tell you.
Right.
Because-
And that's that. I love that, man. That's the exact same way I do business. I build relationships, and I talked to somebody about this last night. And my buddy Brian Hess, and you know, it's like, dude, you know, I mean, I've had people I talked to for years before we ever did anything together. So, you know, that's the way you do it. You build the relationship.
On these calls like this here is how I give them access to the 5-year-old kid, and then breaking through that. Now, when it comes to this thing, probably between the third and the fifth call, I get it.
Yeah.
The third and fifth call. Once in a while, I'll get one right away. Very small percentage, maybe. Like I think Grant says like 2% is the first call.
Right.
The kid I sold the house for 20 grand over was the first call.
Yeah.
Mark talked to him, put me on the phone. Mark talked to him, set my call up, 3 minutes. I talked to the kid 12 minutes on the phone. And then he talked to his wife, called me back. I did the application, I did the contract, everything before seeing the house on a Friday. We signed it. I went Saturday, took the pictures. We sold it Monday afternoon.
That's awesome,
and then
dude.
I got a backup contract, and we sold for 20 grand more.
That's awesome.
But that's an example. Like it can happen, like literally, dude, in like less than a half hour of work.
Yep.
Or it can take you 2 weeks. The one I just listed in Boca was one of the partners with me, Jessica.
Yeah.
She'd been following up this lady for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. When we got to the house to talk to her, it was already done. It was just a matter of the conversation and the numbers and what we were going to do. She had a stack of paper like that from realtors sending letters. She got 200 calls. And I asked her, I said, what made you speak to Jessica out of all these? And she talked to a few of them. She said, first of all, the knowledge, the approach was totally like friendly. It wasn't like pushing me to sell something.
Right.
And once I saw the videos, because I have certain texts we send.
Yeah.
Like when you call somebody, when you hang up, there's 3 texts, there's 2 emails. They're hit 7 times in the first day.
Yeah.
But it's all wanted. They're getting free replies. It's all like, I want to send this to you, and they're all happy about it.
Right.
They're looking forward to it because it's all free, and see the value. Again, it's the value here. There's no cost. Value.
So let me ask you this, and we got to wrap it up. I actually have another appointment. So you know, somebody that's stuck, that can't figure it out, doesn't know what to do, no money, can't, you know, they're losing shit. They're everything's falling apart. What do you say to them? Like, what's the as quickly as you can, tell me what you say to somebody to get them moving out of the level of stuck to moving towards success.
I would tell them, write down the 5 most important things to them, and write down why they need to start doing something for each one of those things.
Love
and who
it,
they're
dude.
leaving a legacy for, who they're leaving a legacy for,
Yep.
and how they want them to see them.
I write stuff down non-stop, man. That's such a key to success, and people don't do it. Such a key to success.
I think of my son, man. I
Yeah.
think of my son. And one thing that gets me going every day, no matter how much I have, every morning I wake up with 0.
Yep.
And what am I going to get today?
Yep. That's
If I have
right.
nothing, 2 million, whatever I have,
Yep.
I wake up today with 0.
Yep.
Who can I help? What value can I bring? And what can I get done today?
Yep.
Before I go to sleep tonight. And I want to be better tonight when I go to sleep than I was when I woke up this morning.
Love it, dude. Love
That's it. They got to get on that mindset.
Yep.
If they keep feeling bad for themselves, it's not going to happen. They need
Yep.
a mentor. They need somebody who they could talk to and say, here. They need a hand up. One thing about that. When I was a kid, I had nobody to turn to. I had nobody to give me a hand up.
Right.
I can give a hand up to people. That's why I started the apprenticeship.
Yeah.
When I hire people in with my group, I give them 30 days. Within 2 days, I know if they're going to make it or not.
Yep.
You either got it or you don't. Now you can get through, and you can be okay and survive. But to excel, you got to have something special, and it's not
Yep.
money. It's not money. It's a will. It's a desire. It's a drive.
Yep.
It's a commitment. It's being consistent in what you do.
I agree with you, man. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, Phil, I appreciate you coming on, man. You're a good friend of mine and a good dude. We've spent probably hours on the phone talking about a variety of things. But how can everybody that sees this, how can they follow you?
Yeah, I mean, on Facebook they can just, it's Philip Simonetta. On Instagram, all the social medias. On Facebook we also have. Let me give you the sites. I have for my YouTube. It's meetphilip.com. If somebody wants to buy, it's buy10x.com. Somebody wants to sell, it's sold10x.com.
Nice.
Looking to learn about the agency, about learning how to be the apprenticeship.
Yeah.
It's topagentacademy.com.
Awesome.
And they can call me directly, text me. I mean,
Awesome.
Anything at all. Message me on Facebook, probably quick. Yeah, and if there's anything I can do to help somebody grow,
Yeah.
I'm here. That's what I do.
I know. You're a good dude, man. You're a good dude. I appreciate you coming on, taking the time, and working through the little technical errors we had in the beginning. But this has been great, dude. I really genuinely appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, no, I'm honored to be here, man. And if there's anybody needs a hand with anything, just reach out.
Awesome. Thank you all. Thank you to everybody on Facebook for sharing and the likes, the loves. We got some laughing cry faces. So, hey, thank you all. Appreciate you. And we will see you guys. What is today? Friday? It's Friday.
Right.
Wow. See you guys Monday.
One other tip. Live every day like it's Friday and you'll be all right.
That's right.
That's
Yep.
what I do.
That's right.
Every
All
Friday,
right.
man.
See you guys. Thanks a lot.